everybody, and welcome along to part 5 of our nature journal. It's looking nice, isn't it? I really like the squirrel on the front. He looks fine. Since the last time that I spoke to you, I have cut out a load of these labels. These are Tracy Fox nature definition labels, and I've cut the entire set out. I have also been on the, well, I'm a member anyway, of the Artie Mays and Friends Facebook group, and in the file section she has some freebies. Some of them are really fantastic freebies, but can I just say, don't just go to the Facebook group and pinch all the freebies off it. You know, and I know I don't have to tell you this, but interact with the page, please, because it's, you know, it's really, really worth it. There's some fabulous freebies. So these are all labels. There's also blue ones, green ones, all sorts. I just downloaded the brown ones and cut them all out. Whilst I was there, I also downloaded this envelope, and I'll cut that out, and I think I'll use that on the inside, make it up and use it on to tuck into there. I think that would look lovely. It's really, really nice. What else have I done? Oh yes, I've fussy cut all of the things in my scrapbook papers, and there was loads. There really was loads. I was so fed up fussy cutting, but I think I've got them all. Fox cubs and flowers and the fox himself, the squirrel, flowers, there's all sorts of things. So I've got those all cut out and ready for us to use when we want to use them. Little acorns, there's all sorts of things which will come in handy for us to use. Right, however, on with today. So we've got our cover done. I've got a bit of double-sided attached itself to there. So as I say, I have an idea of what to put in there, but that's not urgent at the moment. The first page, as you come into the journal, is the fox. And on the back is this sort of wood effect paper. So it's that I'm going to have a play with today. And I'll just set that aside somewhere safe. So I've stitched all around it. And I've got a couple of pockets that I've made. Now these were off the page that we used for the inside of the here. This was the top bit that we cut off, and I had about 4 inches actually, which was just, it was too deep for a pocket. So I've cut that down to, I think it's 2.5. I'll just check that. 2 3/4 actually. And I've sewn along the top. I don't want to sew along the edge because I've already sewn there. And I've just stuck a bit of narrow lace along there. A bit of double-sided. Honestly, how much more annoying could it be? Not much. I've just safety pinned these together because I've got 1 or 2 safety pins, as you might know. Now I've cut it, I've placed it there just inside the stitching around the page, and you can't really see that, but there's the fold and there's my pocket. So it's just a little bit shorter, just stops just short of that fold, and that's to keep the bulk down right in the fold, and also to make it easier when we come to sew it into the journal itself. And this one is exactly the same, it's just a little bit short. When I put it like that, you can see how much is missing out of there. If I'd left it as one long strip, it would not have bent nicely. And also I needed to cut this bit off here because I wanted it inside the stitching. So that's what I've got. I've got 2 separate pockets with this little gap down the middle. Okay, so all I'm going to do for these, it's easy peasy. I'm going to, this is one of the die cuts from the paper pad. So I'm literally just going to put that onto there and put this, it says woodland, it's a definition of woodland, and I'm just going to put that on there. And I don't actually think it needs any more than that. I did anguish over this for quite a while, did it need more or not? But I like it like that. So I'm just going to quickly ink around here, and then we'll get those stuck on. These Tracy Fox nature definitions, they're really nice, very, very handy if you do this sort of botanical thing with any frequency. They're nice to have. So I'll leave my flower in that position so I can see where I want to stick the definition. Let's hope that my Cosmic Shimmer wants to play ball. I'll just move that. That just fits in there nicely, actually. It's a good fit. Let's bring it down a little bit so it's fairly central on there. Oh yeah, look at that. The Cosmic Shimmer wants to play. Well, today Mr. F is starting to strip the old wallpaper off in preparation for the new fireplace that we're getting. Because then after the fireplace is in, we are going to wallpaper that wall with Edith Holden wallpaper. How exciting is that? I think that's fairly straight there. I'll press that down. Yeah, some time ago, Mr. F found some Edith Holden, quite a few rolls of Edith Holden wallpaper on eBay, and he bought them thinking that I would use them in journals, which indeed I could. But there's 5 rolls, which is ample sufficiency to wallpaper the one wall, the fireplace wall, and that's the wall that I look at every evening when I'm sat down watching TV. So it's just perfect. So I'm not going to be using them for scrapbooking. I'm going to be using it to view, to look at every night. What better could you do with Edith Holden? So don't even need to get a book out now to look at it. Just look up and there she'll be. So there we are, that's that one. I'm just going to glue that down. So don't glue across the top. I know that sounds obvious, but just keep your thumb there, and that's the end. That's the side you don't want to glue. So glue along the rest of it. This Cosmic Shimmer is nearing its end, but it's still behaving well today, so that's good. And it dries quickly, it dries clear, and it's a good strong glue. Not that different, I'm led to believe, to the Art Glitter Glue, but I have never tried that, so I can't comment. So I'm sticking that down, putting it up against the stitch line that was already there. And if you've got any excess glue, just wipe it off at this stage. There we are. Looks pretty, doesn't it? I think so. So same with this one. I just want to dust around it a little bit with a little bit of ink. Like that, and seeing as I've got the ink in my hand, I'll do this as well. It's just to get rid of that white cut line. It's not to really make the label any browner, it's just to get rid of that cut line. So there we are. Let's put this one where it's going, which is there. I think it's probably quite a good idea to do this, to do the two, because obviously the journal's going there, so these two won't be together, but there'll be one in the front part of the journal and then one in the back part. And it's, you know, seeing as we're doing it once, we might as well do it twice. And then we'll have a page done in the back of the journal. So when we get to there, we'll think, ooh, hooray, we've got a page done. I won't do it for every page, but I think this one's pretty, so it's okay. So let's get this stuck there. This is seedling. So I'll put that there, then I'll have a check to see if it's straight. Looks straight to me. What on earth is going on? Yeah, so in order to strip the wallpaper, we've first got to move everything that's on that wall. Actually, there's quite a bit of stuff on that wall. There's what we jokingly refer to as the artist's cabinet, and that is absolutely full of paper, different papers that I use, different books that are not printed books, but you know, ledger paper, music paper, lined paper, graph paper, vellum paper, parchment paper, you know, all that stuff. A3 paper, loads of stuff, which is all in that cabinet against the wall. And as you know, paper is blooming heavy, so it's all going to have to be kind of decanted somewhere, really, for the duration of the fire putting in, fireplace, and us putting Edith up after. So yeah, that's pretty too, so let's put that on, holding my thumb on the edge that I do not want to stick, because it's surprising how many times you can tell yourself, don't stick that, don't stick that, and then you stick it. There we are. I'm glad I didn't use the eagle. I'm not that keen on him, really. So I'm just going to once again butt this up to the stitch line that is pre-existing, like so. That's lovely. And then just go around it and make sure there's no glue coming out. Yeah, so there we are. So that's the pockets done then for this page. And then of course we need to find something to put in the pockets. They look very pretty. I really like those. I love the colour, and yeah, I think they sit well. So I've stolen a bit of a march here and gone ahead just to save you having to watch me cut everything out and whatever. So this is what's going to go in one pocket. Let me just move this aside so it can dry in peace. So I've got a piece of the cream card and I've cut it to 4.5 by 7. So it's a big tag, but it will fit nicely into our pocket. And then I've got a piece of the cream card that actually Mr. F has stained this for me, and what he's done is he's taken the tea bag and actually rolled it over the surface, so we've got a fantastic texture on there. It's gorgeous, and that's going to go there. These are all going to be inked around, but I'm just giving you a flavour of what's happening. I have cut out, you remember those squares that we had in the book, so I've cut out this cone, this just trying to work out which way that goes, actually. Good question. I think it must go that way because it grows from the thick end down, so it must go there, like so. And one of the fussy cuts was this pine cone, which is the same as that but slightly smaller, so I'm going to put that up there. Then I've got, that's one of the Artie May's labels, but I've stamped on it. I've stamped with my Tim Holtz field notes, and I've got 2 of the Tracy Fox labels. I'm going to pop those under there, kind of like that. Then I've got the die cuts. Now I know you want to hoard them. I want to hoard them too. But they've got to be used. So I think this is the perfect place to use them, actually. So I'm going to use 1 flower and 1 leaf. Very sparingly, I can tell you. So that's going to sort of tuck around like that. So that's going to be our, tag, isn't it? Get the right word. Tag for our pockets that we've just made. So once that's all inked up, I think it's going to be really pretty. That red flower looks smashing, doesn't it? So let's get inking and sewing what we need to sew, etc, etc. First thing I need to sew probably is this. I'm going to sew around that. So I'll just pop over to the sewing machine. Ooh, hello. Okay. So let's just trim those ends off and see what that looks like. It'll look very similar to how it looked before it was stitched. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now, I was just checking I had room, is to sew around this one here. I probably won't sew around the bottom one. Or I could sew around the bottom one and not that one. I don't know. No, I'm going to sew around this one. The one that's tea stained. So I'm just, once again, just going to use straight stitch. Okay, so there we are. So let's trim the ends off here and then we can get inking and stitching. Stitching, done the stitching. Inking and sticking. Right. Possibly should have inked that actually before I stitched it, but heedy-hody, that's the way it goes. So I'm just going to lightly ink around these. As I say, it's just the white edge that I want to get rid of. Some of these will be going under there, so you don't need to ink every edge, but I can't remember which edge is going in, and frankly it's just as easy to do that. So let's ink around here, and I want a sort of heavier ink around here. I want it to jump off the page. I might just go around that again actually. Because it does fade back ink. You put it on and it looks really dark. It does fade a little bit as it dries. Right, I think that's fine. Yeah, it's not the way it goes, but... So we've got our pine cone. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of ink around the edge, hide that white edge. There we go. Flowers don't need anything done to them, so that I think is everything I need for there. So I need to ink these two up. So let's get my inking board out. I want to put everything away, otherwise when I move my inking board everything just seems to have disappeared. Every time. So I'm going to ink this one first, and I'm going to use my big brush. Plenty ink on it, dab it off on the side, and then come in from the side like that. So every time you reload like this, dab it off on the side first, otherwise you'll get a really dark bit that you won't be able to hide. That's looking nice. I like using the ink like this. It does really age things down, I think. Even this brand new piece of cream card is beginning to take on a slightly more aged appearance. So there we are. Let's just try this on top of that and see what it looks like. Yeah, that's nice. It's very nice. So I'm going to try this, but I've got stitching on it, so who knows what's going to happen, but hopefully it'll be okay. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Your sound hasn't gone. That was me whispering. It's all right. I don't know why. It's like it was a secret. It does make a heck of a difference, this, so take your time and do it, would be my recommendation. There we go. Right, so I think we can probably, well, I can put my inking board away, that's for sure, get that out of the way. So I think we can probably start sticking. So if that's going to go there, I'll get my Tracy Fox labels out first. That says nature, how appropriate. So I want that there. So let's just turn that over, make a mark with a pencil where I want it, there and there, and I want it, I think that was right where I had it actually, I want it there. So I need to glue it on this side to that point. This is getting tricky, isn't it? So I need to do it on this side, wherever those marks are. There and there. Something like that anyway. Can't be too far off. Oh, don't say you've dried up now. It's dried up now. Glues, honestly. The bane of the journaler's life. Right, so I think that's fine like that. So I'm going to stick that where I said I was going to stick it, which is there. Let's just check that that looks okay. Oh, it looks like it needs to go in slightly further there. That needs to come out. Come on. Stop messing around. That's the thing about Cosmic Shimmer, it's a very good glue. I think that's okay. I think that is okay. And let's apply the other one in a similar sort of manner. Not exactly sure that's straight, but it's not far off. So I want it just underneath where it says Flora. I could have cut these off actually. But what am I going to do with a tiny little bit of label? Nothing really, is the honest answer. So that's going to go about there. This is going to go about there. Okay. So that's those stuck on. And they're looking all right to me. Yeah, not too bad at all. So the next thing to do is to stick this, the large piece on that we've sewn around. And honestly, I'm still wondering which way is up. I want to say that way is up. Is there any writing on there that would give us a clue? Might have to get my magnifying glass out and have a look and see if that writing is going up or down. I think, yeah, it's going that way. So, as we suspected, the thicker bit is at the top. So, I want to put this on as well. So I want to leave room for that. Okay, so let's get this on. Oh, excellent. It's decided to stop coming out midway. Oh, come on. Pity's sake. There must be some bit of horribleness that I keep dislodging, and then it keeps coming back into the sort of nib part of it. Probably needs taking out and sorting, but to be honest, there's that little glue left in it. It's not really worth it. So let's give that a go. So that's the top. So we want that about there and fairly central. Like that, I would say. Let's just have a look. Let's have a check and see. Yeah, that looks good. So I'm just going to get my wipe and just really make sure that that is firmly affixed. Do the same with the top pine cone. Hooray, there's glue coming out. There we go. Just want that like that really. Nothing fancy. There we are. Now then, we've got this label. Got a loose end of thread there, which is going to drive me balmy, so let's just snip that off. Stick the label on. So, in line with the right hand side of it, I like that idea. Not for any particular reason, you can put it in the middle, put it on the left side. I just quite like it there. Right. So I think it's just the flowers, isn't it, that we've got left to do? I think so. So cut these in watercolour paper, so they're actually quite thick. So you might have to use a fair bit of glue with them. And that's going to go there, like that. My only remaining question to myself is, should I stitch around the outside of this? You know, I think I will. I think I will. I think it'll make it look just a bit more finished off. Okay, so there we go. I think it's just going to make it look more complete, if you like. So let's get this stuck onto here. First thing to do is stick this on, I would say. I'm going to use Collal for that because it's quite a big area for my cosmic shimmer to cope with. And you can back this once you've finished with coffee stained paper or, you know, ordinary paper, whatever. Don't forget we're sticking the labels down as well, which I nearly forgot. So the weather forecast for up here on the Fell is that it's a really nice day today. Every day they promise me an Arctic blast. Every day it doesn't come, so that's great. I hope it changes its mind before it gets here. Because I've actually got quite used to this sort of sunshine and brightness. Okay, let's have a look at this then. Where do we want it? About there, I would say. Let's have a look. Yeah. I think that's fairly central. So I'm just going around it with my fingers first. Push down all the edges. The glue's decided to squelch a little bit there. That's okay. And now I'm going to get my wipe and really push it down. And furthermore, I'm going to get my brayer and bray it into submission. There we go, lovely. Looks nice even like that, I think, actually. Pop that away. So let's pop these flowers on. Let's just make sure we've got them where we want them. I want that just peeping over the top of there. And this, of course, I don't want it to come off the card. So about there. I think I could move that down a bit even. Did you know there's a new set of Tim Holtz Sizzix Wildflower set out there? I need it. Yes, I do. I need it. I love the wildflowers. Who doesn't? They're very special die cuts, I think. And they look lovely when they're watercoloured. Right, so that's the glue on that one. So I want it sort of there. Oh no, I want it up a bit, don't I? I want it to about there. That's where I wanted it. Forgot what I was doing temporarily, not for the first time. I hear you all say. Oh yes, not for the first time. So make sure that's stuck down good and well, because they do have a habit of not sticking, which I presume is my fault, not theirs. But as I say, it is watercolour paper, so it's quite thick. So yeah, that's going to go there nicely. So you just have to bear with me putting the blinking glue on here, which is not a job that you can particularly rush, I'm afraid. You've got to get the glue on there. Bobby's delighted that the warmer weather has arrived because it means that we can have the back door open, which means he can come and go as he likes. So when he sees something interesting, or should I say something he perceives as being interesting, he can run straight outside and have a closer investigation. The point is that he's so short, he's a Shih Tzu, that once he gets outside, he's like, he can't see anything because he can only see what's sort of, I don't know, 8 inches tall. He can't see anything beyond that, which is a bit of a shame for him, really. In the house, he has a viewing gallery. He's got a stool that he jumps up onto, and then he's got that's a chest of drawers actually in front of the window that he jumps onto, and he can see what's going on. So there we are, that's that one. I will put some, yeah, that has stuck, just looks like it hasn't. I will put some thread, ribbon, something there. Probably, I imagine, a ribbon bow. But I'll see if I'm going to back them first, which I probably will. But right, so that's that one. So moving swiftly along, we have this one. Let's put the pin in my glue, otherwise I can't complain in it, can I? That it dries up. So that's the label, that's the die cut for the top, that's my flowers, that's the things for the side, that's the big thing, blah, 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 blah. Right, okay, so I can get sewing straight off. No, tell you what, I'm going to ink straight off. Nearly forgot about that. What's that on? The scissors. Yeah, so let's get these inked around quickly. I'm actually recording this on Saturday, on Easter Saturday, and it really doesn't feel like a Saturday. I don't know what day it does feel like, just an ordinary working day, I think. But it's definitely Easter Saturday. I do like the way Mr. F's done these, stained these papers with the tea bag. I'll be asking him to do that again actually, because it's fabulous. I love it. Really nice bit of texture on there. Right, anything else that needs that treatment? I don't think so. Put that away. While I've got the ink out, I'll ink around the labels. This one says grass. It's a definition of grass. This one is, what is it? Herbaceous. Ink around here quite heavily. Again. I do like the squares and everything that you get with this pad. It's kind of interesting. There's lots of interest in it. I want to sew around this when I'm doing my sewing. Just finishes it off nicely. Just give this a little light dusting. It's actually the same image that's on here, but it looks different because it's taken sort of out of context, if you like, but it is the same image. Ink around here. Lots of inking going on. Right, I think we're there. Don't need ink for flowers, no. So I'm just going to stitch around these 3. Okay, so there we go, that's all the stitching done. And let's just trim off the ends. Oh, this was a page that I already had printed, That's one of Lona's beautiful lace, out of her lace set. But I'm probably going to back it anyway, so that will never be seen, alas. I must say it's quite nice to be working with botanicals. I watch so many videos where people are using botanicals and I always think, oh, that looks so nice. Right, let's get this in the right place. And I want room for that, so let's just move that up a little bit. Yeah, this is all sort of tighter than the other one, but that's fine. I can move that up to there. I just want to stamp on this something from my field notes set. I don't know what yet. I'm using archival, Ranger archival ink. Let's see what stamp I want to use. This side up, how appropriate. What have I got that I would like? Oh, that's quite nice, that one. Yep, that one it is. So I'm not even going to mount it. I'm just going to put it on my ink pad. And I don't care even if it's not a perfect stamp. In fact, I'm going to stamp it off. So if it's not perfect, it'll be fine. But it is. That's great. I like that being on the wonk. Marvellous. So I think that's the first thing I'm going to stick down, and I'll be governed, I had that upside down anyway, I'll be governed by that as to where everything else is going to go. I've got a bit of excess gluage going on here because I was squeezing really quite hard. So I'm going to pop that there, square with all the stitching. Whoops. Yeah, looking good. That's fine. Just get my wipe. Excellent. Now there's this one and this one. Well, that is definitely going right at the top, so probably going to have to shuffle that down a little bit. Let's pop this one on first, and then we'll see exactly where the big one's got to go. Boy, was I a fussy cutting machine yesterday. I absolutely was. As I pop this fairly centrally up the top there. Still got room for that, haven't I? Yeah, just. So I'll get my wipe out, push that down. I can't believe how difficult it is to get two pieces of paper to blink and stick together. I mean, you know, can't be difficult, can it? And yet we use all sorts of glues and pressure and devices to get them to stick. It's madness. Kids at school get a tub of PVA and they stick everything with it. Absolutely everything. Macaroni, tin foil, you name it. They stick it. And years later, it's still stuck. I was saying this to people in my group. You know, when your grandchild or your child or whatever comes home from school and they've got this, it's usually a paper plate, isn't it, that they've made into a face. And they've stuck all sorts of things on it. And you put it on the fridge until really, you know, it's time to move it, or they bring something else that you want to have there. And you can't bear to part with it. So you put it on top of the wardrobe or wherever. And then years later, when you're decorating or whatever it may be, you come across it. And they're all sort of, you know, secondary school and half grown up. And you've still got this face that they made out of macaroni and bottle tops and all sorts of things. And unbelievably, it's still absolutely in one piece. And yet we struggled to get two pieces of paper to blink and join together. Come on. It's ludicrous. Anyway, I digress. So that's going to go there. So we want one of these here, and we want one of these here, like that. And I think what I'm going to do is actually stick them onto the back first. That's going to be easier. And then stick that over the top. I think that's the way forward. Before I do that, I'm just going to ink the edge of this, just to make it really pop. I have done that blending thing, but it's more subtle. This is a more of an edge thing. It's more of an edge thing. Yeah, that's better. Right, so let's stick these down. Let's go in there. Let's just put a little pencil mark there of where that's going. That's going there, little pencil mark there. Get these stuck down. Yeah, I don't think there's any point in sticking them to the back of there and all that fuss. I think this is the quickest way. So that wants to just go up to there, just in a little bit from the edge. That's fine, happy enough with that. I think the sponge is falling apart. They don't last forever, those little dauber sponges, do they? But Timmy was saying that they're not supposed to be for, you know, the way I've just used it there to edge the paper. They're supposed to be for blending, apparently. And if you use them for blending, they last ages. And if you use them for what I've just used them for, they don't last very long. Well, that's fair enough, isn't it? Other companies do make them that fit on there. You know, if you really didn't want to pay Ranger. I like Ranger products. I think you can always depend on them. My favourite at the moment is my decal edge trimmer. I love it. So that's going to go onto there like that. Oh, this looks so pretty. It looks so pretty. I'll use this, seeing as it's playing ball at the moment. And as I say, I will thread some ribbon or lace or something through the top. I'll probably make a bow, and you'll be able to see that next time when for part whatever it may be, 300. No, it's not that bad yet. I think this might be 5 though. And we're still, I mean, you know, we're just scratching the surface. There's going to be a lot of parts. Does that look square? Maybe not quite. That looks square though. Happy with that. Yeah, I'm glad I went back and inked just around the edge there. Come on, stick down. Honest to goodness. Your 2 pieces of paper, what can possibly be your problem? I want to get my brayer out. It's just been a right pain. Maybe Cosmic Shimmer wasn't the best choice. It won't argue with this brayer, I don't think. Oh, that's Mr. F juggling in the kitchen. Right, there we go. So there's just the flowers to pop on. Let's see where I want those. That's quite nice there. And then I've got that one. Yeah. Don't think there's anything wrong with that really. That looks quite nice. I could start fiddling, you know, trying auditioning different flowers. But I'm not going to. going to be brave and go with the one that I chose. So just a little bit of glue. Try and catch all the ends in, because if you don't, 10 to 1 on, they'll get caught and they'll fold over and they'll look rubbish. So try and catch them all if you can. I know people say this is a hateful job, but when I'm not filming a video, I don't dislike doing that actually. It's just quite calming. So that's going to go there. Get my wipe out. Stick it down. Mopping up any little bits of glue that you can see as you go. It does dry clear, this cosmic shimmer, but the best thing of all is if you haven't got it there in the first place, where it shouldn't be. Lovely. And we'll just stick this one on. Okay, I've got quite a bit of glue on that, so I'm hoping it's going to be alright. So I want that to come that way, I think. Yeah, I've got quite a lot of glue on there. Excess glue. That's okay, I think we've got it all. Don't worry about this green. I was watercolouring something before. I was trying different things to see what I liked. And I watercoloured this part of the card, but it didn't look very nice. Anyway, there we go, that's that. Let's put the pin in the glue. Let's try these in our pockets. See what they look like. They are pretty, aren't they? Actually, I really have to say I like those a lot. So, I just hope that they fit in there. Oh, look at that, they're perfect. Absolutely perfect. Really look nice. So, what I will do before the next time you see me is back these with some coffee stained paper. Just give them a... It's all rigid apart from the very outside, which is only the cream card. So it needs a bit of help somewhere. So I'll put coffee stain in the back, and then I'll put a bow, I think, at the top here, with some ribbon or some lace or some, something, whatever. So that's it. That's all for today. So try and keep up to date, and I'll see you again really, really soon with the next exciting episode. Bye, everybody.